Forza Motorsport Update 18 is here, and spoiler alert, this is an awesome update. As we like to do with all of the updates, I have the entire list of patch notes here. I'm going to show you all of the new stuff in today's video. Right out of the gate, there's no new circuit in this month's update. However, the new cars are just so good, it more than makes up for that, though. Career events, we'll come back to these in a second. We need to start off with the new cars. There are 3 cars that have been added into the showroom, or like the auto show, essentially. I don't know why they have a different name for it in Forza Motorsport. It's confusing, okay? Wait, is there... Wait. Fire says there's a glitch on the patch note. It says the 2025 CT5V Blackwing. The CT5V Blackwing is not new. That's been in there for a while. Same thing for the CT4 and the original CTS. This is the car that's supposed to be on the patch notes. The developers wrote the wrong car here. This is not supposed to be the one. Not to worry, the developers had a bit of a skill issue. Car number 2 is the Chris Forsberg Gold Leader is officially here as well, which is a very, very cool, fun little drift car. And most importantly, the Lamborghini Revuelto is finally here. It's a silly name for a car and I can't pronounce it. I do apologize. The Lamborghini Revuelto. This is a reenactment of how Lamborghini picks their car name. They take a can of alphabeti soup and pour it on the ground, and then they just read what it says. Chat, I guess order of business number 1, we need to try out the Revuelto, give it a quick sound test, and see how it's good. The revs drop so fast, that's insane. Doesn't sound aggressive enough. Hold on, we need a video to compare it to. I had no idea this car was so quiet in real life. That sounds pretty good, not gonna lie. I am Lamborghini's #1 simp. The day you find the Lamborghini boring and obnoxious and not cool is the day you officially got old and boring. I hate to break it to you. The active arrow on the rear is so unbelievably cool. I love the rear taillights, but more so than that, I actually love the headlights. I think they look so goddamn good. I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I love how outrageous this thing is. It's so cool. It's one of my favorite things on the Ford GT as well. The fact that you can see through the goddamn car. Ferrari behind, Ferrari in front, SVJ on the left. Okay, this is going to be quite the run. Away we go for our first race in the Revuelto. I've got to assume this thing also has some pretty fun upgrades. Actually, I wasn't going to do too much customization to this thing, but I guess we will take it to the garage after this race. Because it's a hybrid, there might not be much. It's got hella understeer. It's very heavy. I mean, it does have some nice grip overall, but I think that's more all-wheel drive doing that instead of the actual car doing that. Here's what gets me about this thing. This thing's already got 1,000 horsepower, and this is the normal version. What the hell is an SVJ version of this gonna look like? What is a Revuelto S gonna look like? They're just gonna be absurd. Imagine this thing with proper aero to actually get it around the corners and around circuits. Lighter weight would probably also help it. It was super quick. We finished second. I think the AI in first was cheating, but it doesn't matter. We do have some very limited engine upgrades. We've got fuel system, we've got intake, we've got displacement and a flywheel. That is it. So this thing with a fully upgraded engine can build only 1,100 horsepower. That's a little bit disappointing considering the old like Aventadors could build 1,005 without any issue. We can swap in a 4-liter V8 twin turbo. Is that from the I have absolutely no idea what that engine is. I'm sure somebody in the comments will figure it out, but I think it's probably a Mercedes, but I don't know. We also have the original Audi R8 and Lamborghini Huracan V10. Very nice. I guess the only thing that we can do to it is give it twin turbo. And then I guess we can upgrade those as well. No, we can't. Maximum horsepower for this thing with twin turbos and every engine upgrade is 1,004. The Lamborghini Revuelto isn't the only new car in this month's update, like I was saying. There are some new reward cars. So if I actually jump into career mode, you can already see them in here. If you jump into the Velocity Tour, this one starts in 2 days. You get the Lamborghini Countach that's been in Forza Horizon for a little bit. And if you decide to do the open class one, if you decide to do all those races, that is the Lotus GT430. Very cool car. It's coming to Horizon in about a month or so. That is also not all, chat. There are new spotlight cars. So every single week, one of these cars is going to get added into the auto show. The Lamborghini SC63, that comes out on Wednesday. The Oreca, I believe that's an LMP2 car. There's the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, the brand new one, and the Koenigsegg 1-to-1 is finally back. What if I do a little bit of hacky, cheaty? I want to try out that SC63. Developers, all look away. I'm not cheating or anything. And just like that, I have a Lamborghini. It has the hybrid bump start. All of these new like Le Mans hypercars in the pit lane, they are using 100% battery. They shut the engine down when they're in the pit lane, and then when they get to the end of the pit lane, the engine fires back up and goes brum. Turn the engine off now. Turn the engine off. Hey, it kinda did it. It should probably last a little bit longer in like that hybrid mode. All this to say, it is really nice to see the developers continuing to add more hypercars into the game. It would be nice if eventually we got the entire grid. I don't know if that's possible with licensing and Le Mans Ultimate and so on, but the only other thing that I don't really like is if you're one of the 5 people who play interior view, it's kind of annoying to see your character kind of push the steering wheel with, like, their elbows. That looks so awkward, that turn. It's like, why is my elbow, like, up here making a corner? I guess we should very briefly jump into this thing as well, the Oreca. What an unbelievably cool car. Is this like an LMP1/2 car? What category does this fall into? IMSA Racing is very confusing because they decide to change the rules more often than I change clothes. This is IMSA LMP2 car. Gotcha. So essentially, this car is one category lower than the Le Mans hypercar that we were driving earlier, that Lamborghini. So this thing's a little bit slower, a little bit easier to drive, and all sorts of that stuff. These cars also don't have the same hybrid battery system that the big boys have. Oh my god, it also has significantly worse brakes. As I've been saying throughout today's video, it is nice to see the developers actually adding in new, or at least newer, race cars into Forza Motorsport. It's fun to drive around in the street cars and stuff like that, but Forza Motorsport is a motorsport game. I wish they added in more motorsport cars, and it's very nice to see it when you get an LMP2 car, a Le Mans hypercar, and so on and so forth. I nearly forgot about the little Lotus. Let's give this thing a go. This is such a nice car. I've always been a Lotus fan. I love the small, lightweight little British sports cars, and this thing is awesome. It, quote unquote, only has 430 horsepower. That's not what Lotus is known for. It weighs absolutely nothing, and it's such a wonderful car to drive, this thing. Chat says they're only making 60 of these cars? No way. Super cool car. Unbelievably expensive. New multiplayer series, the Velocity series, is getting added into the game on March 12th. These are like the restrictions for every single week. That's actually pretty cool. Production cars only, upgraded to 800 PI and minimum 750 horsepower. The developers apparently want chaos during week number 1. I guess we've reached the bug fixes and improvement section. On the topic of cars and car sound, both generations of Supra, the old one and the new one, have new car audio. These fixes were originally intended to release in update 17. However, due to an oversight, they were not included. I guess let's give them a go. At least we've got a before and after to test this with now. That before sound off the buildings on the right. Interesting. Okay, so that's the before sound. Now let's try today's sound. Let's see if it sounds any different. It's a very subtle difference, but I like the new sound. It sounds like heavy. And then let's try the new Supra. Sounds a little almost artificial up at the top. It goes like, it sounds a little weird up top. Let's see if it's different now. If it's just me, but I think that sounds less artificial than it did before. When you get like high in the rev range before, it sounds off. Fair play, developers. That sounds significantly better than it did before. Especially when you can hear the difference like that. Hey, look at this. This is also a pretty cool fix. Increase the race duration of short races from 8 minutes to 10 minutes. Updated the event schedule for short, medium length races to slightly increase the amount of time between races. They're instantly balancing some of the cars, like the Lamborghini SC63. I guess is kind of crap. It has a 4% downforce reduction and a 12% increase in drag? Jeez. Apparently the SC63's cracked. I think that might be everything in the new patch notes. I think that's a pretty banging update.